The line was 38.5, so no one expected this thing to be close, but the #1 Georgia Bulldogs covered and then some in a 55-0 win against Vanderbilt Saturday. Hey everybody, this is Sarah Spencer with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and this is Know Your Dogs. To help me break down today's win, I'll be joined by Georgia coach Kirby Smart, quarterback Stetson Bennett, safety Chris Smith, and linebacker Jamon Dumas-Johnson, and my coworker, our Georgia beat writer, Chip Towers. So stay with us. Georgia won time of possession 39 minutes to 21. They only punted once, and they were 7 for 7 in the red zone. So basically, every single thing went right for Georgia on offense today. Here's quarterback Stetson Bennett on why that is.
We had a great week of practice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way through. And it's because we're like, hey, this is football, right? When we score touchdowns, when we do good plays, it's fun, it's exciting. That's why we got started in this whenever we were little kids. So let's just bring that back.
Entering Saturday's homecoming game, Georgia quarterback Stetson Bennett had actually gone 3 straight games without a touchdown pass. So he decided to bounce back in a big way, going 24 for 30, throwing for 289 yards and 2 touchdowns. He actually exited the game with the Bulldogs up 34-0, and the fourth quarter belonged to backup Carson Beck.
Well, he made some better throws early. I thought he's played well. He hasn't made all the throws early. That one over the middle to Marcus early really helped him. He had the one high one to Darnell that he threw over the middle, but outside of that, I thought he had good rhythm and did a good job throwing into zone.
Yeah, I mean, Carson's, what is this, 3rd year here? He's a really good football player. And he keeps getting better, keeps learning it. I think sometimes when you guys ask me, how are you tutoring the young guys, and you guys include him in there, I'm like, well, he's not a young guy. He's been in this offense the same amount of time I have. He knows it just as well as I do. He's comes in and works. He's a good football player.
The Bulldogs put up 579 yards of offense compared to 150 for Vandy, obviously holding the Commodores scoreless. Here's Jamon Dumas-Johnson and Chris Smith on how happy they were to hold an SEC opponent scoreless, even if they were expected to win big.
That's everything. That's one of our main goals. No one in our defense. That's what we say year in and year out, every day, every second of the day. No one in our end zone. So I feel like we did a good job with that, and we got that done.
It's tough to go out here on the SEC opponent and get a shutout like that. But like I said, we had a great plan for this team that we just faced, and like I said, we got to look forward. We got to put this game to rest. We're going to enjoy the win tonight. But like I said, man, tomorrow we got to go to the doctor, man, and we got to fix the mistakes that we had today, and get ready for the future.
All right, everybody, let's bring in our Georgia beat writer, Chip Towers. Chip, what did you see just as far as that dominant passing game today?
Well, it's good to see a passing game, wasn't it? Really, Georgia hadn't scored a touchdown pass in 3 games, so I know Stetson Bennett was really happy to knock out 2 in the first half, and really Georgia was doing whatever it wanted on offense, and nearly 600 yards here today. They were almost a dead even distribution of runs versus passes. And it was kind of interesting, the way I described it in my story on AJC.com was kind of a slow bleed. They just, you wanted more explosive plays maybe, but you really just squeezed the life out of this team with those 10-play, 11-play drives, and a lot of third down conversions by Stetson Bennett to his receivers on those plays.
That was such a good plug. Make sure you guys go to AJC.com to check all of our stories. Chip, we were just talking.
Have stories there about it.
We do. We write too. No, we were just talking. I think a lot of people are going to see that final score and think, well, of course you beat Vanderbilt big. Vanderbilt's struggling this year. But we were just talking, Vanderbilt gave Ole Miss a game.
Yeah.
I mean, it is good to hold an SEC. Anytime you can hold an SEC opponent scoreless, that's big.
Yeah, I was kind of a little bit concerned, for Georgia coming into this game because of Vanderbilt's offense with that quarterback, AJC Swan. And
AJC
Swan, we love him at the AJC.
Can you tell where we work?
AJ Swan is a really good quarterback, and they put 28 points on Ole Miss. They're leading them at halftime. They're leading 13-3 in the first half. So, what I mean about that is you can't discount what Georgia just did here. Another shutout, another first half shutout, another whole game shutout. That's hard to do in the SEC. I don't care who you're playing. This was as suffocating of a defensive effort as I've ever seen.
We got to see quite a bit of Carson Beck. We got to see a lot of young guys see the field just by nature of it being such a blowout. How valuable is that?
Well, it's real valuable. So we're coming up on the bye here. Georgia has next week off, and it's really well timed. This is, despite everything that Georgia's done so well, it's a really beat up football team. Today we saw Ladd McConkey go out. We saw Stetson get lit up pretty good on the sideline. We saw Xavier Truss have to be helped off the field. Now Kirby told us in the post game here at Sanford Stadium those guys are going to be okay, but a bunch of guys didn't play again today. Jalen Carter's still not, and he told us, he said, I'm not sure if some of those guys, you guys think we're waiting for the Florida game for that. I'm not sure if some of these guys are going to be back or not. So they need for some of those guys to get back, because the run going forward, this is great. Georgia's 7-0, they're ranked number 1, but the run ahead is totally different. And we'll have to wait to see how well they've been prepared for the run they have to make.
And that's a good point you make. When you look at who Georgia has next, I feel like we're about to find out what this Georgia team is made of.
Yeah, we are. Georgia's what's ahead for Georgia is where their real tests are. And it was funny tonight, we're sitting there in the post-game press conference and we're all watching the end of the Alabama-Tennessee game.
Somebody else was too.
Kirby wasn't there. We were waiting. As soon as the game's over, as soon as the winning points go through, here comes Kirby walking in, and everybody instantly laughed because everybody knew what was going on there. Took a few questions before we finally got around to what happened in the Alabama-Tennessee game. But the point is, we haven't seen Georgia in a game like that. They haven't been tested since Missouri. They haven't played a top-ranked team since they played number 11 Oregon in the opener. So their tests are ahead of them, and they got quite a stretch in November, not to mention the Halloween weekend with Georgia, Florida, and Jacksonville. So Georgia's tests are ahead, and they're a pretty beat-up team that's got to get healthy for that run.
Chip, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks to all of you for watching. Make sure you go to ajc.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos just like this one.